Day for me afternoon. There's an air quality warning outside, and we have Cubsrule21 playing Boneyc in the round of 24. I am Organ Mike in the commentary booth. Noobtree87 is doing our tracking. Alchemy is doing our restream, and Infinius is with me in the commentary booth. How are you doing, Infinius?
I'm doing well. This is gonna be it should be a fun one. Looking forward to see what the modifications do to what our runners choose to do here.
Yes, so we've got Rosa as our hero. We've got a complete set of goals and objectives to deal with. We have to complete 6 of those 8 goals to get the crystal that will unlock Zeromus's final vulnerable form. And I'm just looking at those objectives now. Complete the Giant of Babel is always an exciting time.
Yes, especially since with the I guess with the meta we're likely to see a Mac Giant grind of some sort. So it'll be interesting to see whether our runners choose to knock that objective out while they're there. I also see we also have we need to do the Murasame altar as well. So highly likely we will at least need the Darkness Crystal to get to Zeromus.
Yeah, there's those two, though. Those are the only two with the Darkness Crystal. It may actually be able to. The seed may actually be completable without it. Looking at it, Cave Magnus, of course, needs the Twin Harp. The package, burning the village with the package requires the package. The Sand Ruby requires the Sand Ruby. Trading away the Pink Tail needs the Hovercraft and the Pink Tail, and we need to get underground to deal with the Queen of the Town of Monsters. So yeah, we've got quite a variety going on here. Be interesting to see where this seed takes us.
And I guess with a Rosa start, you're never sad to see Rosa as one of your starting characters. You know you have a starting White Mage. White Mages are pretty good, especially in terms of setting up your Mac Giant if necessary, since she can cast Blink at some point. I might be maybe not as good as Porn because she gets a bit later and also doesn't learn the exit spell until until you finish the Tower of Zot. But again, you can't be too picky with these kind of things.
And the Tower of Zot is not one of the objectives, so it might actually not be seen, depending on where the Darkness Crystal is and whether or not there's an important item at the end of it. So we might not even see the Tower of Zot happen, which may mean that Rosa doesn't actually get her exit spell.
In which case, no, which makes some other interesting choices, especially if we do not find a Porom, because that would be our only other source of exits. Unless, I guess you could potentially buy exits underground. It's S Pro, so I believe they're tier 4. But having said that, we are underway.
Looks like we're on the way, yeah? And we'll see who that Rosa is going to be partnered with for this game. And that is one of the twins. I can never tell which is which. And we've got Golbez in Baigan's spot, giving them the Earth Crystal. So maybe that Tower of Zot is actually, that early exit might be on the list.
Yeah, and also that is Palom, by the way. That is you definitely do like to see Palom in this spot. Being able to get to early access to Virus, early access to getting Quake at level 23, that just enables you to power through that the early to mid game really easily.
So that is Pelham, the Black Mage. All right, so we've got a Black and White Mage start. That's pretty solid. We'll see where Cubsrule is headed first. First out the gate and headed straight to Toroya with that Earth Crystal to check out the treasury, I imagine.
Yeah, completely makes sense. You never know what you can get in that treasury. You have a shot of getting tier 7 items, and those can be very seed defining, especially if you hit things like Avenger. Even if you find a Heron robe in there, that would be amazing because that would mean that Rosa can be our main damage dealer up until mid game. But
and
with this treasure,
Boneyc is doing it. 3 assassin daggers, one after another. Crystal armor, 2 crystal armors, a white spear, 3 crystal armors, Leviathan, Aegis shield. Not a whole lot there that's setting me on fire, but
there were 2 white spears in here. So if we have an early cane, that's another way to actually that is another way we can actually just power through that start just by purely actually mainly using the white spear to cast white on our enemies.
Seeing a couple other interesting things. I saw an Earth Hammer in there, which could be useful if Sid shows up. And some mute arrows in case we get a magic-using boss.
I guess the other thing that did come up was also a black sword. That is for Dark Knight Cecil. That is the best weapon he can equip, and also perfectly serviceable to get us through the early game.
I missed that. Thank you. Also notable, if we do get Cecil, Paladin Cecil does come with exit at a certain point too, so that is
That's
another
true.
option. We're headed to Mount Hobbs here on Cubsrule's side, and Boneyc is checking out the town of Troya, it looks like.
Yep, I mean, nothing to see what shops are available if we need to buy more life potions, but I think that was it. Well, what did I say?
There's Kane,
right?
Yeah. And Boneyc is headed to the Antline Cave, it looks like. Oh, and that's Odin. I misread that as the Eblan King, but that's fine. This looks like it's going to not be too difficult a job to take out Odin here.
Yeah, I mean, that with a lit 1 or 2 and maybe a 4 Rager, but yeah, that 2 was just enough. And I guess just by doing Hobbs first, that's probably an advantage for Cubs, just having that extra character and being able to just know that he has the early game unlock with White Spear usage with Arcane.
Boneyc looting the Antlion's cave. I haven't seen anything especially important pop up, but I am having a bit of trouble reading what's on the screen at the moment. It's a bit blurry. So we'll see if that resolves itself, and maybe the combination of the blur and the old eyes I've got make it a little bit more challenging. I saw a Dwarf Axe. That could be handy.
Well, Dwarf Axe is actually going to be very good once Boney actually picks up that Cane, because that means that he has the ability to actually back row Cane, if that is, and that which means that he could be more protected from any mean things in the future.
Yeah, the back row glitch is active, I believe, in this flag set, which means that a character who equips an item that's usable from the back row with no penalty will always have that benefit and can use any weapon from the back row with no penalty. Cubsrule now checking out Babel to see what's there and what they're guarding. And here comes the Antlion on Boney's side. Or the substitute Antlion, which is a Lunar Sparkle today. We've got Ogopogo, my Canadian brethren.
So Ogopogo is kind of rough here with this party. Particularly, we don't really have that much physical damage. Like, we're trying to rely on Palom. Looks like we're trying to rely on Palom trying to attack with an assassin dagger, and I guess Rosa picked up. There were some charm arrows that got picked up at some point, so that I guess we're relying on that as well. Meanwhile, Cubs also has a rough one for a different reason. That is that the white we have to resort to jumping on the CPU because we cannot use the white spear on the main orb because the reflect that gets popped up as part of the script.
Yeah, so CPU at Babel, and doesn't look like it'll be too much trouble for Cubsrule, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's just annoying.
Yeah, it should be over in a moment. Ogopogo, meanwhile, is trying to make sure that Palom and Rosa stay hydrated.
I mean, that's very important. Staying hydrated, very important.
Generally, though, there's Ogopogo's a little over-enthusiastic on that front and sends maybe a little too much water their way.
I mean, only a lot of water that can kill you, right? Oh wait, that is in fact a lot of water. But looks like Cuz picked up the spoon.
Well, there we go. That's a key item. Not necessarily a useful key item, but it is a key item.
Yeah, not quite the key item you'd be hoping to get here. I feel like Cubs will prefer actual progression, but if we do find an edge, we can dart it for something that's really rude. Or if we find an Edward, we can, I guess, have him do his thing.
It does do a lot of damage in the hand of a bard. Ogopogo not wanting to return to the BC Valley from which he came, apparently. There we go. Boneyc sending him back to the Okanagan, and we'll see what the Antlion spot was hiding. Meanwhile, Cubsrule is checking out Baron Inn. We got the hook! Well, that could be important. The pink tail is there to defeat the Queen of Town of Monsters. We've been seeing a lot of ice brands being picked up, too, over... 2 more on Cubsrule's side.
I guess that's the consequence of the min tier coming up, actually having minimum tier 3. Means that you can't find all the random mallets or diet food, that kind of thing. You're going to get items no matter what. So
we have Vanilla Yang sitting there in the companion spot in the Baron Inn, and we've got a Dark Elf here going to change. Yeah, probably very quickly, yeah, because this spot only has a couple hundred hit points, I think.
Yeah, that's right. The main question will be what is in the second spot, because that could potentially be rude because that has 4,000 hit points.
Now, we've definitely seen some challenges pop up, and it is the Evil Wall.
Probably a very good one to see here. It's gonna hurt, like that.
Yeah, better here than in some other places, definitely.
But the other thing is that this is a very, very slow spot. So hopefully you can make use of the fact that it's slow, so you can get those hits in pretty quickly.
Though those hits are pretty heavy. Paladin got one shot, and Rose is very nearly petrified.
Yeah, so there's also the other corner case thing that could potentially happen if Rosa goes down as well, and Kane is in the air. Evil might advance and hit himself.
Yes, Evil Wall's script always needs to attack something, and if there's nothing on the hero's side, when it moves, it will attack itself. Boneyc is in the Eblan cave now, checking things out, seeing what's in the shops, and selling off some of the additional equipment that he's picked up over time.
Yep, that was some good run buffering on Cubsblade just to get through that space, because he only needed another white activation, and yeah, that was well played by him.
Yeah, very well done. There's the tower key. We still need to get underground on that side, but we know where the hook is. The other thing is there's no experience gained from that spot, so it doesn't matter that 2 party members were dead, and there's a heal provided right afterwards. So some heads-up play there by Cubs.
Tower key is also kind of annoying, given that we require so many key items, and so far he's gotten 3 key items and none of them actually help directly.
But we have found an Edward for that spoon, even though it's on Boneyc's side and not on Cubs. Edward is hiding in the Eblan cave, facing off with a Lunar Sparkle in the Rubicon spot.
I think in that situation, given that that spot could be Wyvern, I might be inclined to try to find any other way underground at this point. There could be a magma key on somewhere else.
Well, if that is Wyvern, we know that there's a magma key somewhere else available.
Wait,
Mist Dragon
that was going to be Mist, right?
Yeah, Mist Dragon is in the Mist Cave, so we are probably going to see Cubs take this out to look for the key item that's available in the Town of Mist when the Mist Dragon is killed.
I did like the instinctive reset, only to go, oh wait, that actually was demist.
Yeah, we do actually want to fight that one. Though Kane's White Spear is not going to help much here.
Wow, that's annoying. That was about 10 hit points short from that jump.
Didn't really matter, but yeah.
But the seconds matter, man.
If only he'd had a Dragoon Spear. Or something else that doesn't provide holy damage.
A Dragoon Spear wouldn't have helped because Mist Dragon's not a dragon.
Ah.
Because, obviously.
I can't imagine why a Mist Dragon wouldn't be a dragon, but there we are. I didn't program the game.
Oh, A very important pickup on Bernie's side, looting Eblan. He actually has picked up an ogre axe, so that is another way. So jumping Kane with an ogre axe is potentially a way to actually handle a potential mech giant grind in the future.
We'll see what Rydia's mom is holding on to here in the town of Mist. That is a cabin. Definitely not progression.
But no, that's fine. That's at least you know you don't need to do any other ridiculous checks to try to find Demus. So there is that. So you have that out of the way. So you're not going to check waterfall anytime soon because you don't need to.
Might be useful information to see what's there and not elsewhere in the seed, but yes, there's no real need to go after the waterfall. There's no need to do random boss checks. Demist is already crossed off your list. Boneyc finally heading to Hobbs. We'll get that Cane and take out that Odin.
I also don't mind preemptively raising the hovercraft while you're on the way. You know, one of your objectives involves the pink tail, trading away the pink tail. So you're in the area anyway. It's okay to do this right now as opposed to doing it later.
I think there's also some value in taking actions that give you a moment to think. Like, there's no need to consider what you're doing here. You're just going up there. It's a useful action. You're taking the hovercraft to the Antlion Cave for some reason, and there's a moment in there that you can take a breath, relax, recenter if you need to. I think that there's definite value in that sort of action.
I believe the reason that Cubs took the hovercraft here was because if this check does not give anything, and now we know it's a hook, but if it doesn't give anything, he can just reset and the hovercraft will still be where he is right now. It doesn't and saves the having to pick up the airship, move the airship, and bring that back down again.
That makes a certain amount of sense. And once more, Ogopogo is going to try and drown the party here.
Wow, again,
this fight should probably go
short.
Yeah, probably go a little faster this fight. Yeah, there we go.
Yep, just having that cane with the strength boosting gear, just also having some number of levels, that helps so much more compared to how Boneyc ended up having to handle that fight.
Boneyc, meanwhile, going to take on Fabul. We'll find the CPU there, and we'll get the spoon for that Edward.
So Cubs now having picked up the hook has some interesting choices now because he can try to dive the hook route. He can try to do Zot, which takes a long time, or he can try to climb Ordeals, which also takes a long time. So he has an interesting choice ahead of him.
Zot and Ordeals both being multiple boss locations for one single key item, though Zot does have the advantage of giving you that exit spell that we were talking about before the seed even began.
Yeah, that's also reasonable. I guess Cubs is trying to check who the character is, hence saving here. Just because if it's a from his perspective, if it's a good character, he'll take it and just happily walk back out. If it's a bad character, he'll just reset and just save the time walking out. Since we don't have warp on Talon at this point, Talon is at level 28. Also, our tracker makes an interesting point that at some point, Boneyc has picked up a heroin robe, which that will help a lot in terms of making Rosa a very, very fast lady.
I thought I saw that. I think it was directly south of the fight on Hobbs. Cubs didn't check that treasure chest, and Boney did, and I thought it said heroin robe. But I wasn't sure, so I didn't say anything about it. So,
But yeah, that's fine. That's. I mean, it's one of those chests where it's okay if you check or not. It depends on your preference whether you want to spend the time or not. I guess from Cubs' perspective, we actually want to pick up this Edward because we have the spoon.
it also does fill out the party. If you had extra characters, I wouldn't. I would imagine Edward usually gets dropped pretty quickly. But this does fill out the party to 5 characters.
Yes, I guess filling up the party it is good in one sense. Yeah, I think that it's more important that it is actually a Spoonwood as opposed to a normal Edward. If it was a normal Edward, I think Cubs would have reset.
That's reasonable as well. Having the spoon already makes that decision a little bit different. We've got Boneyc looting Eblan, or looting Babel, and Cubs coming out of Eblan. The other thing that you could find at the top of Tower Zot is 2 character checks, so that might also influence the decision as to what comes next.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like if you find, I guess a Porum and Porum or even Rydia, you have options to who you want to sling at that point.
Boney has headed to Ordeals to try and take on the 2 bosses up here and see what that key item is. And we do not have Tella in this seed, but if there's a Cecil that shows up somewhere, then Cecil will have access to the Paladin class rather than the Dark Knight.
And eventually pick up the exit spell. It
would be interesting if Cecil was at the top of Mount Zot, or of the Tower of Zot, and Rosa was then saving him from the crushing ball of death, rather than the other way around. And there's that heroine robe we were talking about.
Yeah, it would be quite funny. I agree. But no, but this Rosa is ready to battle everyone and everything, really.
Cubs also heading into Ordeals. Well, Boney gets set up for whatever boss might be the first boss. We don't know yet who these 2 bosses are. 3 bosses, really.
Well, we know. Let's see. We know it can't. Okay. Well, let's see. What would be the rudest thing that would be here?
Valvalus.
Back attack Valvalus is actually not as is actually not that bad. Only because we have. I mean, actually, for 2 reasons. One reason that only applies for Boneyc is that because he has the heroine robe, he can actually hit aiming Rosa will do a lot of damage. We'll be able to break through the evade and just do a whole bunch of damage. The second reason is we have Kane, so we can have Valvalus get out of tornado form and do damage that way.
Wyvern with Mega Nuke would be nasty at the back attack because it comes out right away. We've got good timing here on this side, so we don't get the Calbrena combining.
I mean, I guess a Wyvern would also be bad, but you'd also know this is not your intended way underground. So that is a nice, that's a good point, consolation prize.
Well, it is a Sparkle, and it is the D-Lunars. Ooh, they're going to get into their pattern pretty quick because we've got a couple turns missed for the surprise attack.
Having said that, it'll be fine because we have a Paladin with Fire 2. We have a jumping Kane. We have an aiming Rosa. So all in all, this should be relatively straightforward.
Cubs also threw that first fight with the Calbrena, and going to find out that we got D-Lunars hanging out here at the Mylon Z spot. And the D-Lunars down 1 will start... what's the script there? Start throwing fire all the time? Or is that where they start throwing virus? Nope, fire.
Okay. No, so that basically... to counter any damage, you'll do fire, but that's everything else doesn't really matter because Kane should be able to do a number on them.
Yeah, we got Boney just one step ahead of Cubs because, well, mainly because Cubs did that. Oh, and Cubs is resetting out after a hit and the start on the virus script, trying a
Yeah,
second shot at them. Yeah, Cubs being a step behind because he did the Baron in, which Boney has not done, which is why Cubs has Yang, and Boney does not.
I mean, on one, I guess, and with that, we're also having the tower key, but I think Cubs has more information about what's going on than Bernie does because Cubs also has the demist out of the way as well.
And our item here is the Adamant. Knowing that we have to... Oh, nope, never mind. That was the wrong thought. And here's Dr. Lugai and Balnob hanging out in the chamber of trials and the ordeals. I don't think they're going to tell us about justice.
No, I'm not even sure if the real fight's going to start either, for that matter. Also, of note is that that's unfortunate.
Oh, that's no good.
I guess we will see the real fight after all.
Cubs having some problem with these D-Lunars. Giving them some trouble.
I think Cubs is trying to be a bit too aggressive and trying to but yeah, we're through. I think he was trying to have Edward do a swing or two, but in order for that to work, Edward needs a whole bunch of levels to make it viable.
Well, having that Edward down might make a slingshot more viable in the future. We'll see what happens there. For anyone who does not know, the experienced slingshot, when you have a full party, any party members who are 5 levels or more under the median level of the party get double experience. So if you get one fight that gives a ton of experience, you can send someone up 40 or 50 levels in a single go.
An awful low price of like half as many of your chosen grind of choice of monster to kill, I guess. Also, one thing I want to make a note of in terms of Boneyc's side is that it's slightly unfortunate that he currently has Rosa in the middle slot right now. That is probably causing some potential issues with his aim command, because that will cause an overflow of the accuracy. So it actually doesn't do as much. So it could be doing more damage if he moved Rosa to the top slot, for example.
Yeah, that is a consideration. So now thinking about it, the only place left to explore on the overworld is behind the Earth Crystal, I believe, which means that unless we have the magma key or some progression to the magma key there, we are going underground with the hook.
Having said that, though, I actually do expect our runners to actually go and clear the towers up. We don't have access to Quorum, so being able to actually cast Exit could potentially be useful if we once we find the Darkness Crystal, and we opt to clear the moon first before doing it, or earlier than later.
Boney's going to take on the fights to get Yang here, and Cubs has just finished the Chamber of Ordeals, so that leaves Cubs with the two remaining options of Eblan Cave or Tower of Zot.
And meanwhile, Bonus is going to have a pretty easy time with this Dark Elf and also the subsequent Evil War, because with that Heron Robe, that Rosa should have about 25 agility, and if the wall rolls really low in terms of agility, it might not even get a turn.
Oh, we'll see what happens here. That evil wall. Again, with both Kane and Edward in the party, there's the opportunity to have the evil wall attack itself, but I don't think it will last near long enough to get to that point.
Okay, we got one hit in, and that's probably about it, because this virus is going to do another swing from Edward, or Kane jump might do an... Oh, Kane, really? Come on, man.
Edward's doing almost as much as damage as Kane with a jump.
But yeah, this fight also shows why I love Virus as a spell.
It just does so much damage,
and so early too. Like level 18 is pretty easy to get to in the grand scheme of things. You don't really need to do that much to get there.
Cubs going up the Tower of Zot while Boney claims his 5th character and gets the heal of the Baron Inn.
So I guess the question is, what are we hoping for in as viewers? What would we be hoping for in the Tower of Zot?
Well, I guess it depends on if you want the progression to be quick or slow.
I don't know, the main part of me kind of wants this to be the Darkness Crystal, because that means you now have very interesting options available.
Yeah, you could then have to search the moon altars for the magma key.
Also
Cubs
interesting
on the flame dog.
Yeah, interesting that Cubs is actually actively trying to get to the flame dog. I guess if you find something like a power shirt and get Heron robe, or nice things, having
might also be thinking of having to do that hook route, just preparing against that, having a couple more levels, a little bit better equipment, just to make life a little easier going through whatever that lunar sparkle is.
Yeah, that lunar sparkle does. Well, actually, now we've seen. Yeah, let's think about this though. We've seen Ogopogo. We've seen Lunars.
Yeah.
So
could be plague.
If it could be plague. Plague would be probably the worst. If it's Wyvern, that's not our intended way underground.
Yeah, if it's Wyvern, we know that there's a magma key somewhere on Earth.
Yes, and Paladin would be fine, because I think there's a Dragoon arm shield that we picked up at some point in the treasury. So
yeah,
I think we don't really need that much hit XP, really. Like the hard bit would be what's in the King Queen Eblan spot, really.
And that we have no information about. We do have Antline at Zot 1, which Boney is about to walk up on, and Cubs is in the middle of fighting.
Yeah, this awkward spot, but again, we have access to Virus. We can jump with Kane. We can power punch with Young to avoid the Antline counters. So this should be pretty straightforward for our runners.
Yeah, the Antline counters any physical attack, but using special abilities like aim, jump, or power doesn't trigger a physical attack counter. Oh, and Edward is hiding.
I mean, that's fair. Actually, I think that might be... I actually think you want Edward to die here. I'm not... Just to try to preserve that slingshot, but that might just be my perspective on things.
I think it's just natural. Edward hides when the Antline fight. That's what Edward always does when I fight the Antline in vanilla, so...
yeah, that's fair. That's quite fair.
Cubs is through Zot 1, and we will be seeing what 2 characters and what boss are at the top, and what key item we get after completing it.
And we'll also find out who is in the Golbez spot as well.
That's true, yep. The Golbez spot that's in Dwarf Castle, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
That's where they're, yeah. So we'll see who's hiding there. And Boney is through the antlion. Boney's getting the step back on Cubs. We've got an edge. We have...
Mega
is that the
Sisters.
Magus Sisters? Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, you do love to see the Mega Sisters there because they'll have 1,000 hit points each. They're not on the element spot, so that's probably one of the
Easy
nicest
enough.
things to see there.
And so we got Edge, and we got one of the twins.
That's the white Porum. That's the white mage.
That's Porum.
So now
Okay.
we have interesting choices here.
Now we're not allowed to get rid of Rosa because Rosa is the hero. So Rosa must stay in the party eternally. Yang has been dropped for Edge, and Edward for Porum. I'm not surprised to see Edward get dropped, and I don't know enough to know the various the benefits of Yang versus Edge, so I couldn't tell you whether that's a decision I would make or not.
Part of the upside of taking Edge now would be is that now you can dart the spoon, so you don't need to carry around Edward, and really more often than not, Edge is probably better because if you find a master mirror at some from your rewards, then he gets extremely powerful. Whereas Young takes a lot to get ready, up and running.
We've got an officer and 3 soldiers standing at the top of Tower of Zot here. I don't know why I keep trying to call it a mountain. It's not.
I mean, there is a mountain close by, right? Like, there's a mountain range to the west of the Troyan Castle. So, in fact,
we
there's
don't
like
actually
a waterfall. So, it could be on top of that tower, really.
Yeah, we don't actually know where on the world map the Tower of Zot actually is. All that happens in the game is you end up flying off with Kane to somewhere, and that's that, I guess.
Okay, you got me there.
So we got one soldier down on Cub's side. Boney has made the same decisions to ditch Edward and... oh, no, I stand corrected. No, still got Edward. Ditch Edge, or ditch Yang. My goodness, I could get this right at some point.
I mean, eventually. There's no rush. The main point is that we have a point of difference between our runners. And that makes for interesting gameplay, interesting choices, interesting races,
For sure.
really.
Cubs pulling a little bit of a cheeky life glitch on the officer. Boney threw that fight a little faster and now has taken the technical lead.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think the life glitch probably was not bad because you got to slingshot Porum with this, so hopefully she'll have Berserk.
Mm-hmm.
She gets Blink, hopefully. No, just a bit short on Blink. So, but that will help. That will help a fair bit. Also, Rosa got Blink as well for Cubs. So I'm not. I don't know if Boney got Blink on his Rosa.
I didn't catch. Oh, there's the twin harp.
Well,
that is important for one of our objectives, and it could still. I think they're going to check it because it could gate the way onward. For any who don't know, the life glitch happens in I don't know, maybe Boney's going to skip the twin harp entirely. The life glitch happens if you use life on a dead opponent. They come back to life, but when you use life 1 on a target, it is restored with 5 times the target's vitality. No monsters in this game have a vitality score, so they're restored with 0 hit points, which means they immediately die, again giving you credit for 2 kills of the same monster. I think I got that all right.
Yep, that's right. And I think the bigger thing to point out in this case was that since Cubsrule's life glitched on the officer, that officer has 70% of the hit points of that spot, so he got a little bit more, a fair bit more XP from doing so.
Mm-hmm. So got a lot more experience rather than just doing it to the grunts. So we do have divergence here. Cub's going to complete Cave Magnus and find out what is behind that twin harp, and Boney heading down to the Eblan through Eblan Cave to the hook route. So we're going to see who's hiding in King and Queen Eblan's spot. And of course, when Cubs activates the music of the twin harp, we get to hear one of the amazing tunes that have been programmed into this randomizer. I think we're up to like 500 different possible random tunes it could be. So there's a lot to pick from, and at that point, we'll just duck out and let y'all enjoy the music that the bard is barding.
Do we have to?
I mean, we don't have to. I think it's just common courtesy.
Choices. Okay, I suppose we'll be quiet once
Also, I want to hear it.
Okay, fair.
So Cubs is using using a kamikaze to quickly end this fight because you lose this fight no matter what. So the faster you lose it, the faster you get on to the next part of the cutscene. Boney, meanwhile, took out a bunch of mad ogres. There's Blink for Rosa on Boney's side, and Edward is making his way over to the harp, and I'm going to switch over so I can hear what that music is. So we'll catch you after this this boss fight.
Okay, so there's a fair bit to talk about here now that Cubs has proved fighting at Valvalis. So we know that the hook is our intended way underground because Valvalis does not block our only access, gives us a Luke key, but more importantly, we have a very rude fight on our hands here. We have um, Dark Knight
We have Dark Knight
Cecil.
Cecil at the King and Queen Eblan spot.
Yes. As you can see, that Dark Wave did 600 damage to everyone, but it looks like Boneyc is going to get through with buying 5 Cure Freeze. So yeah, well played by him.
Yeah, and we will find out that justice is not the only right in this world. An important lesson. Also notable, Cubs has finished the first objective, completing Cave Magnus. So first runner on the board at 40 minutes and change. And we will find out who is behind this Lunar Sparkle. I imagine Boney's going to go back up and save. But also getting those important spells for Edge.
So we know that this has to be either Pale Dim or Plague.
Yes, because there's no other way
this
underground
Yes.
on the blue planet. Yeah. It can't be Wyvern gating that.
Correct. And we've seen the other two. We have already seen the other 2 bosses. So I think that probably means our runners are probably happy with that. I think
know,
they'll probably be
everyone would happy, but
Pale Dim
they'll
of all things.
yeah. Plague could still present a challenge here. Though mind you, with Edward on Boney's side, it could be a little easier if the timing's good. We do have Plague. And there's that dreaded count. Derp, 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 derp.
So this is where Berserk is going to be very, very good. just to
Okay, we're
clog
gonna
up
knock
the queue. But we need to get
We're gonna
that
try and
sooner
knock
rather
him
than
down
later.
and get him back up. Now, will he hide automatically or not?
He might. No, he won't, because he'll only hide immediately if the enemies on the battlefield don't have the boss bit. So
Okay.
he'll stay there.
And Plague is considered a boss.
Yes.
And we have another countdown. It's going pretty quick. We'll see how Cubs deals with his pain man here. Unfortunately, about as well as Boney did the first time. So we'll see what solutions puts into order to try and counteract this rather dreadful spot for the Dark Knight.
Yeah. All kind of awkward. Either way, but I think turning down the battle speed will help Cubs out a fair bit, because that's what Boney ended up doing in the end.
Yeah, just giving yourself a little more time to get those item inputs in. Oh, we have lost both mages and Kane on Boney's side. Dreadful count. It's really a damage race by other means in this this fight.
Yeah, but no, I guess with hopefully, Cub should be through now, because he gets that tier 3 through, and oh no,
Oh
oh, that's
no!
unfortunate. I think,
The-
unironically, the fact that Rosa lived there actually cost Cubsrule that round, because her input text box came up next, not Edge.
Yeah, so another try. The tactic is there. It's just a matter of executing and getting a little bit of luck to go with it.
And an alternative that Cubs could have actually gone for would have been to have Edge cure free Kane, and then have Kane jump immediately, and hopefully jump over the third wave.
Boney is still plugging away at this plague and just got a last-minute count in that saved Edward and Edge. And if you're worried about Rose's experience count, the hero always gets experience regardless of whatever else is going on, even if they are unconscious at the end of the fight. I know the plague fight always seemed interminable to me in vanilla. Just seemed like it would go on forever.
Yes, this agility situation for Cubs is actually being really rough, because he's just not
Ooh, we
getting able to
lost.
get inputs in. Oh, did he not change
We
his battle
lost
speed? Oh, that
3.
explains a lot.
Yeah, lost 3 to that last count. Plague's hit points ran out off of virus.
Oh, that's great.
There we go.
That's great.
That gets you through. It doesn't matter. A win is a win.
Scoreboard defense.
It's that's normally how you see Plague's time run out, but there we go. Cubs is just struggling with this fight here. Not having that heroine robe might change things too, because Rosa is determining the agility, right?
Yeah, yes, that's also a thing. That's also an issue. Yeah, this is. I think with what Cubs has, this is really rough. We'll see if he's able to piece it together.
Yeah, he's just basically constantly throwing Cure 3 potions. I'm not sure what else you can do other than just try and try and try again.
I think at this point, Cubs has to come up with a different solution, because at this point, it's clear that this is not working. And I don't think turning down to battle speed 5 is going to help, because if it didn't work at 4, it won't help with 5. I don't think.
He's trying a run buffer, or tried a bit of run buffering there.
Alternatively, no, have Kane jump. That also is a solution, potentially.
Now, would jump trigger the?
It will not. It will not
I don't-
because the trigger is for attack.
I think he's fine this time. He got that Cure 3 in before the second wave came out, so we're all right here.
Okay,
Boney
yeah. Now we
C
should.
is going to check our free item in the Town of Monsters. It's just a Lunar Staff. Justice is not the only right in this world. Someday you will see. So the free key item in the Town of Monsters is a bit of a zonk, but we're also going to check and see who is sitting at the Queen's spot to see who is covering objective number 8 there.
And Cubs doing the right thing and saving because that.
Oh, I wouldn't want to have to do that again.
Bunch of time on that.
We got Mum Bomb in the Queen's spot and Rubicant in the King's spot, or possibly the Elements fight.
Those are interesting.
Could be. He's going to check it, see whether it's Rubicant or it's just Rubicant. It's just leg there. All right.
Yeah, Rubicant's the worst of the two options there. And Mum Bomb might have been doable. I probably took a swing at that with Bernie's party right now, but I mean, I also don't fault just saying that I'll come back to this later. That's fine.
Hub's going into Plague. We'll see how he handles this beast. We're getting some Berserk going out. That is something that Boney did not do. Try clog the queue with Berserks.
Yeah, and I think because of that, Cubs is probably gonna have a way better time with this than Bernie will. But having said that, Boney C still got through first try, so there is that.
Yep. It took time. Oh, we're at 0 on the count. Is the count clogged up? Is the timer clogged up enough? Hub's just throwing everyone's attack animations at Plague, trying to keep the death trigger from triggering.
No, it looks like the queue is plugged enough that this is fine. Or not. Oops. Oh, it might be still fine, because as long as these two these two guys are going, it might be okay.
Boney has checked on Young in Sylph Cave and is now coming up to see what Sheila 1 is holding on to.
Yeah, I think it looks like
yeah Plague is dead. And we've got a wizard hat. It's nothing there either. I think the next check is probably... Well, it could be the tower, but I think the next check is probably going to be the dwarf castle.
It's interesting, because we spotted, as once we went down the hook road, that there's a blue robe on top, and that makes it a 50-50 shot on being very good or very bad. And I think...
That could then be the Water Hag, which is easy, or the Gauntlet, which is not hard necessarily, but is time-consuming. Boney has decided to check the Twin Harp. Looks like.
I mean, this is required, so may as well do this now. So that's where Cubs is going to essentially get that time back, because Cubs has already done this check.
Yeah, this will help them get a beat back if needed. And we'll see what Cubs does instead. Now already being in the underground, might check the sealed cave. Probably do your free checks first, but might check the sealed cave as well as the tower is an option and the dwarf castle.
I think if nothing else, checking who is at the queen is first is always the right play here. Just getting that information is good. I wouldn't be surprised if Cubs actually takes a swing at this Mum Bomb. The only scary bit will be could potentially be the punches pre-explosion, and hoping that Palm has enough hit points to survive the explosion. So that way you can just quake them all away.
And Boney has started the fight against the Dark Elf, which will turn into a fight against Valvalis. So we'll turn into a fight with some awesome music, so we will duck out of the way again and let you listen to the awesome music.
Well, I guess we've got good news on what we know what's on top of Lower Babel now.
Looks like it.
So I guess this was a Tower Battle that's full of blue robes. Having said that, though, I guess since we have Palom, that might make that'll help with the jelly fights. We have a jumping cane to deal with the two siren fights. I think that pop up. I think there's one fight that's really awkward because I think it has high magic resist. But I guess you're here now, so I think you're pricing to try and go for it.
It is a key item, and we are kind of lacking progression right now. Boney is going to find out the Mist Dragon's in the Mist Cave, and is going to find out that the Mist Dragon is gating a cabin. So this will probably be underwhelming in the extreme.
At least a cabin's better than a wizard hat.
I suppose that's true. Neither of them get you where you're going, though.
At least a cabin is potentially useful.
There are many uses for a wizard's hat. I don't know what you're talking about. Just maybe none in the game.
I mean, I guess you could sell it for money. No, I got nothing.
And now we get to see the gauntlet that's at the top of the tower here. Starting with Stoneman. Boney has decided, I think, to use a siren and get some levels here. Gonna fight an egg.
Yeah, makes sense. You've got your party. It'll help later on. And this was the fight I was thinking of in terms of having high magic resist, it looks like. So yeah, my memory of this was apparently really good.
Well, I wouldn't doubt your memory. 34,000 experience. And just getting a few of those levels, just pushing them up a little higher. Edge learned that all-important pin spell. And we're going to come to the dwarf town down here, Tomra.
Okay. So, good idea from Cubs to actually have Poundcast Soft on his select, because I think this... Yeah, I was right. This Kane was going to short the damage needed to kill that alert. Shorter by about 100.
So that's 2 fights down out of 5. There's another alert.
I believe there's a tofu fight coming up next. And then it's like 2 chimeras afterwards, and that you can quake away.
You could also sit here and grind off summoned monsters from the alert, too.
I mean, technically you can do that, but that's just
You can.
so slow that
Not saying it's a good idea. Boney looks like all set to go and take care of Mum Bomb in the basement here.
It makes sense. You've got it's an objective after all, so may as well do it.
It's an objective, it's a key item, and if you think you can handle it.
And this is where Edge having I think 2 assassin daggers really hurt, because that nerfed his that flame by a lot.
And we're down to the final fight of the Gauntlet. For any who don't know, this is the Babel Gauntlet that's just been moved to another location. They take the enemies native to the area rather than pulling in the monsters from Babel. And we'll see what the not Dr. Luge has. There's a Sand Ruby. That is a key item essential for one of the quests. So, Tower does have some value in it. We'll see if the Tower Key has some value behind it as Cubs leaves.
Interesting. Because now we're actually running short. Because, okay, actually, really speaking, we only have 3 spots left to check on Earth, right? We have this Oh no, 4 spots. We have Dwarf Castle as well. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, Dwarf Castle, Sheila 1 we know is nothing. There's the King and Queen at the Town of Monsters.
And we have
got
Sealed
Mum
Cave.
Bomb here. And we got Sealed Cave, yeah.
Yeah, which we got from
the Twin Harp.
Yeah.
And Mum Bomb hitting like a truck down here. This is Azura's spot. So yeah, Blink looks like it's going to be a useful... Yikes, yeah, definitely going to be a useful addition.
Yeah, so the way we're probably going to have to get through this involves blinking Palom and hoping for the best. Blinking 2 characters, have Palom be the one that survives, and have hope Quake is enough.
Well, we'll see what happens. And there's the Magma Key. Entirely useful at this point, I'm sure.
I mean, that is key item number 9, so...
it's true.
So it is, in one sense, useful.
Yes, when our runners get to 10 key items, that means that they get double experience. It looks like Boney's going to have to reset out of that fight. That's a bit brutal, that one. We're gonna slap the heroine robe on Rose, huh?
Yeah, I like the adaptation here. Just trying to make Rosa be faster is actually going to be very important, because she's the main star here, just to cast blinks.
Blink doesn't rely on her magic powers. So.
Berserk.
Yeah.
And really speaking, her magic power doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, with Blink and Berserk, they're not reliant on magic power, so... But that is such a tough start. Mum Bomb is going quick, and she's hitting hard.
And I guess the other thing is that her also gives a whole bunch of defensive capability to Rosa. She can tank, like you saw that punch do 150.
Yeah, she took a hit,
so
yeah.
It gives
unfortunately,
a lot of
unlike her partner, she can't cover the grievously wounded, but...
Ooh,
Ouch!
that's also smart, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm inclined to have someone Zerk at this point just to get through this. The important thing is that Boneyc needs to be aware of is he needs to also make sure he has enough MP left for a quake for when post explosion.
We've got to get to the point of the explosion before we can worry about the post-explosion, so...
Fair.
Cub's going to check Sheila 1 and going to find a wizard hat, which I guess Sheila expects to wake up Yang somehow?
I had some thoughts, but yeah, I guess he could use it to tickle his feet.
That should do it.
I mean, I know I'm very ticklish, so I'm pretty sure that would work.
Maybe you can pull a rabbit out of it.
But how would a rabbit help me wake up? Wake up Yang?
Sheer amazement.
But if Yang's asleep, how's he going to be amazed by a rabbit coming out of a hat?
Magic. Don't you know anything about magic?
Clearly not.
Boney's struggling to get his party off the ground. Somewhat literally. And get those blinks going. Oh, just can't get the timing up.
This might also be a thing where we might need to have Kane be in the back row as well if we're going to just have him jump, because that way he'll be able to tank another hit that way.
Yeah, that half damage would be useful. Did
Did that life one cast miss?
No, didn't get there.
Oh right,
Used
okay.
a potion. Had Kane use a potion, then Kane got whacked.
Ah, okay.
Looks like Cubs is at least exploring the dwarf castle. And headed up to see. We've got a red robe back there. That's the Dark Imps, I believe.
Oddly, it might not be. Only for one weird reason. Okay, it was, but
There's 3 of them, yeah.
it could have been the element fight, because for reasons which take beyond beyond me being able to explain properly, elements actually appear as a red. You see the Marlin sprite, and it's red.
We have Mom Bomb in Splody form. And we'll see whether or not Boney can weather the explosion. Here it comes. Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, so hopefully one quake should be enough, especially since Boney has actually bluffed Hallam. So as long as he can get some dancing shoes on. Okay,
Ouch.
that's not quite what we wanted there. Yeah, this is just a wipe now. We can't.
If you could get Edward up and into hiding, you might trigger. Would they trigger explosions then?
They will not explode.
Self-destruct? No, okay, not unless they have a target.
No, they need to be a target on the field for them to explode first.
Makes sense. I know if my main method of dealing damage was to blow myself up, I'd want to make sure there was someone there to blow up. Ooh, the timing is just not working out for him.
Yeah, this is gonna be a wipe because those bombs are about to explode and Rose is gonna not be happy.
Yeah. Cubs is through the first fight, and we know the Magus Sisters are the second fight. Here they come. And we'll see what party member... Yang shows up again for the revenge, I suppose.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Boney, spending a lot of time trying to get that to work, only for it to just fall flat like that.
Yeah, that's rough. But, gonna give it another shot. Oh, those hits are so brutal.
But meanwhile, Cubs is through. Cubs is through the
Yeah. The Magic Sisters
Dwarf
went down
Castle.
quite easily, yeah. And we see the creepy hand of Golbez doing creepy things.
Just replace Golbez with, I guess, Baker's Sisters, I guess.
Well, there is only one hand, not three.
Well, realistically speaking, each sister has 2 hands, right? So there's probably 6 hands, potentially.
But we still only see one of Golbez's, so...
Okay,
Luca,
that's fair.
around her neck, is carrying... the Legend Sword. And we have the Adamant.
Alright, so time to spit. Okay, so time to play the game. Are we going to see the bow or the arrows? Because those are the only 2 options we get for Rosa here. The Perseus arrow or the Perseus bow. I'm going to call the bow.
And as is pointed out in chat, that makes 10 key items for Cubs. So all of Cubs' experience will now be doubled. Boney trying to slow Mom Bomb down. Make life a little bit easier, hopefully.
And it's
Perseus
the arrows.
arrows. Now those come from one of the other Final Fantasy IV versions, I believe.
Yeah, it's the Game Boy Advance version.
Okay, what do they do?
So they are very good against giants. But other than that, they are only equipable by Rosa. I think it's
even
like
the
60
sort of
attack
Scottish
memory
giants?
and 99% accuracy, so they're very good for bow, for arrows.
So would they even be good against the sort of Scottish giants one might find inside another giant?
They'll be, in fact, very good at them. In fact,
that also means that unless it's behind King or Queen Town of Monsters, we're going to find something here in the sealed cave, because we are running low on places to go.
actually, if once we find the darkness crystal, we're in go mode.
Yes, but
for
we
Cubs,
still need to find that.
Because San Ruby, Queen, darkness gives us mirror and giant. So yeah. Despite all these troubles, it's very surprising that we are very close to being done here.
Mm-hmm. We're getting there. Oh, Mum Bomb once more in her splody phase. With both characters blinking, this may prove to be the moment. Okay, Boney, here comes the quake.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Comes out
well
before
played
the.
there. Well played. That should be enough.
Will it be enough? It is.
Yeah.
Boney has completed the Queen at the Town of Monsters, and we will see what is there. And Cubs at the bottom finds the Baron Key. Hello, that's some progression. And there's the Darkness Crystal. Wow.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Baron Key is so interesting because that's such a bait.
Well, there's so much there. Oh, and Baigan in the Evil Wall spot. That's not going to be fun.
Yeah, we need to use the cabinet we got. See? Cabin useful, wizard hat not.
They could sleep in the wizard hat.
You can sleep with the wizard hat, but does it restore you MP?
I don't know. It's magic.
Okay, fine. It probably is magic after all.
Boney is headed up to launch the Lunar Whale. And Cubs is going to go take a second shot at Baigan.
Yeah, this is actually this race is now in a very interesting spot because obviously Boney is now getting ready to just do their growing, but on the flip side does not have the Sand Ruby from the top of tower, does not have the Legend Sword from dwarf castles. So awkward options here. Like, I think from Boneyc's perspective, we are hoping that the moon has the pink tail and the package at this point.
Though I imagine Boney is probably going to do the Mac Giant grind, and likely go through the Giant since you're right there, assuming it's not too ridiculous.
Yeah, that safe assumption, yes.
Now that provides a character check, but it does not give a key item. I believe there's
Correct.
nothing there.
There's nothing there.
So, going to the inter. Oh, going to buy exits and softs. Interesting. So going through there, might then head to the moon to see what's on the various altars. Because yeah, if we don't have the pink tail, we don't have the package. But after your grind, going back down to take out Rubicant at the king's spot would be an option, because it's certainly doable. Or going to take on the sealed cave. We've had the Luca key for a bit.
Yeah, that's true, and this is kind of but I feel like the way this seed has gone, that if it actually is in sealed cave, then I think Bernie's not like to do that first. I think you're, from a racing standpoint, you're more likely to want to try to do Luca like try to do the Ruby spot first, since you've been fading this Lucky for God knows how long.
Boney's not had it for that long, since Luca key came from the twin harp, did it not?
Yes, but the flip side of that is that it came from an objective.
Yeah.
Because it came from Cave Magna specifically, one of the racing idioms or racing rules of thumb is you follow what you got from objectives.
Cubs
So
has
the interesting
taken
thing here is
Biden
that
out.
Bernie is also is just going to do the giant first, and we're not looking at a Mac Giant at all.
It's just gone straight in. Cubs is through Biden.
And
has that
honestly,
Baron key, which is gonna could lead to interesting places.
The awkward thing about Baron Key specifically here is that we know that from the start of the seed that Golbez is in that spot, and oh wow, that is a huge
free.
payoff. King Queen Eblan in elements. That is a lot of free XP, and we may not necessarily need to grind. Amazing. The awkward thing for Boney is that he only has 8 key items.
Yeah, and we're not too sure who's at the CPU spot yet. So.
But true. But the XP we're about to get here is going to help a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes you take your chances, and sometimes it pays off. And they became conscious. Cubs is headed to turn in the Sand Ruby, complete that objective at Kaipo. There's 100,000 free experience and a free heal, yes. 100,000 free experience for Boney. It's a Rydia hiding there at the Sand Ruby spot.
Yeah, I think you're just doing this for the objective. You're not taking Rydia, I don't think. Yeah.
I wouldn't expect so, no.
All right, now to find out who we have at the CPU spot.
The real challenge. Kainatsu. Ooh.
I mean, ordinarily this would be very bad, except we have But because we start off with a whole bunch of 4 rages, this is probably okay.
Well, you say that, and then it did 50% more damage than Palom has hit points in one shot, so...
I mean, we only need to fade. We only need to get someone zerked up, and then have get one. I believe we need one fade one wave, but then after that we might be okay. Because by then hopefully a zerk should be able to drop the drop Kenatsu low enough so that the damage is
Well, we're back to the same situation that Boney was facing with Mumbomb. The damage is catastrophic on hit.
Yeah, I think at this point I would actually not be breaking up the waves. I think we just need, we might need to have one more, and hope that did not happen. Yeah, we might need to reset here. Like we need Edward's Zerk and swinging to drop Keinatsu low enough so the waves don't do a metric ton to us.
Yeah, waves are based on Keinatsu's current hit points, I believe, right?
That's right. So given that Keinatsu's taken what, about 3,000, that's still 21k hit points left. That is not a happy. Oh, I guess that's okay. Starting White Spear is 4k, so that makes it still a lot, unfortunately.
Cubs is going to take on Golbez at Baron 1. And is going to knock down the twins, it looks like.
Yep, that's probably right, because the twin, if nothing else, the twins will be are going to be a lot slower in terms of getting actions through for what we're about to do next anyway. So makes sense to make sure at least one of Kane or Edge is alive.
Yes, Boney did save after King and Queen Eblan. Jazer in chat asked that, and we're slowing down the battle speed for this Kainatsu again. And that wave, when Boney reset, that wave was only doing 720 damage. That's not horrific. It's not great, but it's not horrific.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is we just need to get that. We need to get damage swinging like now-ish. Is the problem.
Yeah, you need to come out hard and fast on this one.
Yeah, meanwhile,
that's also an option.
Through the Golbez fight. Kane ended up being the one that survived, which is okay. As long as, like I said, as long as either Kane or Edge survived, it was fine. And should be able to walk up to and this next fight should be pretty straightforward. We could just zerk up Edge and be fine. Or Kane be fine. Or we could just raise everyone, that's also fine.
And we'll see who has usurped the throne. And it is from one king to another queen, Asura.
I was just trying to think, does Cubs have a rune axe? Because that would be a one shot of one if he does. Or we have a mute dagger, and that also works.
There we go, yep. So that is one spot down to Baron. That also leaves Baron Basement as an option for what to do next.
And we get a character check, which we're not going to take, probably.
I imagine not. Got a bit of a mistimed Thor Rage on Boney's side. It's Sid, a vanilla Sid.
Yeah, and still not taking. Not what I expected there.
What did I miss?
We dismissed Edge for Sid.
Dismissed Edge for Sid. That is a choice.
Yeah, it's not what I
Definitely
would
an
have
option.
expected.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. Boney's fight against Kainatsu seems to be a little more stable this time. Not great, but stable. Some Dragoon armor from Cubs from Baron 2.
That is not great.
Doesn't do much to help us out here.
But I think Bernie is stable now. Oh
Yeah, it's
wait,
just a matter
no,
of
this kid's
keeping
jumping,
things.
isn't he? Hmm.
Yeah, Kane's in the air. We have Karate on the basement throne. And Karate is hitting hard here. This is Odin's spot normally.
Yeah. But I guess with Quake, with Berserk on Kane, we should be fine, I think.
I don't think he's had time to get Berserk out, which is why Kane is still jumping. That is some good damage from Palom, though.
Although I think that was a miscast exit or exit a miscast there. But that's okay. These things happen. But I do think I think Bernie should be pretty close now. If we just Zerk up the party, it's probably fine. Because I think Kanasa should have taken enough damage so that the waves won't kill the entire team.
I don't think it's the waves that are the big concern. I think it's those physical hits
But
that are just brutal.
But the point in that case is that you just keep Kanata in waveform, gathering the water, and that's probably fine.
We've got the Karate fight going a little bit difficultly for Cubs, but
Yeah, those kicks are doing a fair bit, but this only has about 20,000 hit points. So with just Rosa and Kane alive, we should be able to get through this. Now that we're not splitting hit points to a useless Palom. And there we go.
right, Baron Basement is complete. Kainatsu is under threat here. There's a pan. That
Pan's
leads us
interesting.
to it's 2 key item checks. That could be package and that could be the package in the pink tail.
Also, inventory boss.
There's a robe to go with that wizard hat.
Well, did Cubs just pick up a heron robe as well just now? Or were my eyes
No, it was a
deceiving me there?
wizard robe I saw.
Okay. Okay, so my eyes were deceiving me. Good to know.
Unless he picked something else up. Oh, Chad is correcting me. There was a heroine robe in.
Yeah, okay, that is big then, because that just having that ability to manipulate agility. Also, Ninja Hat also very good in that spot as well. So
And Kainatsu has fallen on Boney's side, completing the Giant of Babel and doing a fair good number on Boney's experience numbers. So
yeah, also impressive they also managed to get get Edward to get that XP as well. So but yeah, but yeah, good job. Also, we find a Sid.
and we have another Sid back here. Yeah,
Probably
this
not
is a
seeing-
logical place for Sid to be, working on a giant mechanical monster. I think that makes quite a bit of sense.
Yep, that tracks.
And just to let everyone know that if this race goes on too much longer, I'm going to have to duck out because today is the first day of school and my daughter is arriving home on the bus in about half an hour. So I have to be there to meet her.
Hooray! You get to hear me talk more, I guess.
I'm sure you will do just fine, Infant.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I probably feel sorry for everyone having to get used to Australian accents more than that.
The biggest
yes,
problem for the biggest issue for me is that I'm going to miss the end of this. So, Cubs has Cubs. I didn't see what he got for smacking Young with the
samurai armor.
pan. Okay, not much of import. And the return of the pan gets us the package. Hello, that is
Well,
another key item.
that's that's good, I guess, because that means that once Cubs does the King at the Tower Monsters, that is one he can opt to fade the Giant of Babel
Yeah, for sure.
because he only needs 6. And hey, here's
There's the
that.
paladin
Here's the Paladin. Probably not taking him, but we've
sitting in
had a
his
Paladin.
uncle's chair. And we have another Sid sitting at Mist.
Oh,
And
look,
a
it's
very
huh.
angry Edward. Upset that Cubs has left him behind, Edward decides to come back and burn the town of Mist.
No, I see. I see it as more as Daxion's in an alternate universe has decided to has become a warmonger and decided to burn down this village.
And the engineer fight. The other advantage of this is, does it not provide a heal after this?
It does. It does. This
That's
is,
what I thought, yeah.
but it's kind of awkward because all Cubs has left on the blue planet is literally the.
Oh, and this is a nice little find here at the Murasama altar.
Ooh, this
For
is a
Boney.
very good fight. If we are able to size, if we actually get to cast size, if we had to toad the guards, actually, that'd be ideal.
They're being
Yep,
muted. Yep, muted will help.
and then just toad them, and then we get to even try to do a whole bunch of funky life glitches to get even more XP. But again, super awkward that Boney is only at 8 key items. And the Toad lands.
And the Toad lands. Cubs taking on an egg and will get twice as much experience as Boney did for this egg.
Yeah, that assassin dagger that's on Palm kind of made that virus just do not enough.
Yeah, the dragon hatched.
Kind of fortunate.
It's alright. 68,000 experience. A few levels here and there. Boney is down 1 Toady Guard. And Edward has done the Edward thing of hiding in the back row.
And
Swoon.
we got the sprint prop.
Yep. And
Looks like Boney did not get the life glitch off, unfortunately. So, but we do have our objectives, so there is that.
yeah, the objective is clear. There's a ribbon, which is useful.
Would have been more useful before the fight because that has mage resist and a ability to dodge, all those the sizes and all that. But beggars. I guess you'd rather have the pink tail at this point.
Yep. If we still don't know where the pink tail is, but we know where everything else is. You can see from the objectives completed, all the objectives have been completed except objective number 3 by at least one runner. We don't know where the pink tail is.
Yeah, and that is going to be that's a rough one to be sure of, because that could be anywhere. It's not getting any other objective.
Boney is going to have to go back to Earth at some point to get either the Adamant package or Sand Ruby.
Yeah, and that in itself is going to be very rough because now we know that this this full moon clear is going to be very very empty. I mean, even if we get the pink tail, that's not enough compensation because no matter what, we have to, Boney has to come back to Earth. Like this is going to be a rough. Yeah, this is just going to be a rough one for Boney because essentially he chose incorrectly.
You take your chances. That's pretty much it. It's he didn't choose wrongly. It just turned out to be the wrong choice.
Yeah, and that happens sometimes. No.
Yep.
It's a randomizer. You have to take it. You have to take a gamble at some point. Sometimes they don't pay off.
Cubs has taken on Mumbomb in the Queen of Town of Monsters spot. If I were Cubs, I'd also take on Rubicant here. Go back and save, obviously, between, but just to check and see what's behind it. Octomam in the Crystal Sword.
That. Only because
Octomam
he
in the
didn't go
Crystal
mode.
Sword.
He'd be in go mode at that point. So as soon as he
That's
gets
true, yeah.
summon monsters, I believe Cubs is just going to do a grind, and then do a Murasame also on the way to fight Zemus. I think that lands up a lot better.
Well, if he goes to do a Mac Giant, grind, he will also find that, or he might also find King and Queen Eblan in the first spot and decide to go through the Giant Babel and not worry about the Murasama altar too.
Potentially. The awkward thing about that is that that's rough. The awkward thing about that potential thing is that because most people use the step route manipulation to get the Mac Giant grind, if you check for King Queen first, you lose that step. You lose that manipulation. So
fair, yeah.
Makes that option a lot worse.
Octomam is doing her best to take apart Boney here at the Crystal Sword altar, but having not a lot of luck. I mean, being reduced now to only a few tentacles.
Yeah, and also the fact we have a column that's able to cast Lit Free, that helps a lot.
Down to 4 tentacles. I was going to say 3, but no, there's only 4 of them there. And every time Octomam takes 2 hits, except the first time takes 3 hits, every time she takes 2 hits, then she slows down and loses some tentacles. I believe if you hit her 255 times, you can wrap her back around to having all her tentacles and all her speed, but why would you want to do that?
Things have gone really wrong if you're actually able to do that, but technically, yes, you could do that.
64,000 experience later, Rosa has life too. And a Zeus Gauntlet.
Well, Zeus Gauntlets aren't the worst. At least that gives a whole bunch of strength multipliers to our Cane. But again, not progression, so it's kind of awkward.
Well, again, the only progression we're going to find up here is the pink tail, or possibly
or
the
rat
pass.
tail.
Rat tail too, yeah, or the pass, which will mean that if that's found, that Boney doesn't have to come back up here.
Yeah, and really speaking, I would expect, barring some awkward things, Boney to find that pass. Unless it literally is behind that ruby.
That could be.
And yep, Cubs is about to get his Darkness Crystal.
And finish the 8th objective.
And he's going to be very, very sad about this.
Again, if it's me, and again, I'm speaking from inexperience here, so I absolutely respect the opinions of people who know more and know better, but if it's me, I'm still going to check what's behind that Rubicant if I can take him. We have Pale Dim, I think, in Pale Dim's... No, Pale Dim is not normally there. That's normally Plague. Pale Dim and Plague spot.
Still on the moon. and realistically speaking, this is also. Oh, really? I think that was just 18 more hit points more. But yeah, realistically speaking, Palladium is fine. Just need to Zerk someone up, and then blink whoever gets Zerked up, and then wait.
Noobtree pointing out in chat that the cabin from D-Mist doing work for both runners.
Yeah, like I said, the cabin was not the worst thing that could have been found. And yeah, Cubs looks like we are setting up for counting counting steps. Cubs are about to do a Mac giant grind.
And Boney just fighting with Palladium. Palladium's not usually a challenge no matter where it ends up.
It can be, if it's a very punchy spot like Leviathan, Crystal Sword Altar, Cave Bahamut. It can be annoying, but yeah, if you have blinks, then you're probably fine. Also, I believe we have Dragoon armor on Kane, so I don't think he's dying no matter what happens.
Yeah, Boney's just trying to keep Edward in the game to get some more experience on him.
I guess the interesting thing here for Boney is that if it wasn't for the fact that Boney needs to head back down to Earth to do I guess 2 things on Earth. Well, I guess 1 thing on Earth potentially. Boney's levels are good enough to be able to are probably good enough to do to fight Zemus at this point.
The numbers on the hit points definitely look to be about in the right range, and especially with a couple more of these big fights.
Yeah, unfortunately, if this is the White Spear Altar spot, then this is not going to be that much XP. It's going to be like 30-odd thousand.
Yeah, 31.
But no.
But it's still some. It's
It's
still a level.
some, yes.
And it is a silent stick.
Yeah, that's again. We know that there's not many key items on this moon, so to be expected. Oh, Cubs is going to change characters. Who are we picking up?
Rydia. Interesting. Big slingshot.
Okay, so we're going to sling Rydia at this point. So, yeah, makes sense. This is probably a party, so we have a whole bunch. We have 2 characters who can kill giants really quickly. Yeah, understandable.
We have Leviathan hiding out in the ribbon room.
Yeah, probably a good spot for Leviathan. The waves are going to be annoying, so as long as we get someone zerked up, it's probably fine. The ice 2s aren't going to do that much. But yeah, we are about to see a whole bunch of giants pop up on Cubsrule's side to do for his grind. So this makes for an interesting thing. Cubs is doing grind, but is in go mode. Boney has essentially done this without a grind, but is essentially slogging through it, and also we know is going to full clear the moon without any joy. So yeah, so I think given this, Cubs has a significant lead, but I would not be but it could, if things go wrong for Cubs in this Mac Giant grind, Boney could catch up.
Well, especially because Boney, not having done a grind, still has some levels. Even if they're not the same sort of levels you'd have with the grind, doing the Earth goals right now When you can take out monsters at the altars, doing the Earth Goals is not too difficult.
And essentially, there's about 200,000 XP left to get on this moon, unless maybe more if there's a key item in the ribbon room. So yeah, probably okay.
Could be both tails.
Could be both tails, which will help a fair bit.
Rat tail and defense sword, not too bad.
So rat tail's key item. Oh, it's key item number 9, right? I thought
Unfortunately,
it has 9 key. Has 9 keys, not 10. That's that's kind of awkward.
And I think he's going to go down and check the Masamune altar.
Makes sense. You're here already. You know you're going to be able to exit out, so it's okay.
And we are definitely getting to the point where I am going to have to duck out to go meet a school bus. I've got about 5 minutes left in me, so we'll see where these guys get. But
Okay. So who do we have here? Bahamut. Okay.
Bahamut, not bad.
As long as we get Berserks up all, I guess, all important characters, we're fine no matter what. So, but yeah, Cubs' grind is going pretty easily. We have 2 axes. We're getting.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect this to be a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, this is. The only unfortunate thing is that Kane shorted a jump. We have jumping Kane with poison axe, so that's probably enough. I think we're going. Haven't done the math, but I guess we're going for 5 + 5. And that should be plenty enough for 4 people.
Noob Tree, what was it? Ribbon Room? Rat Tail, yeah.
Yeah, it was Rat Tail Defense Sword in the Ribbon Room. So
yeah.
Not Rat Tail's good. Defense Sword less so, considering we started with 2 white spears in the seed, so you know, there's that.
Yeah. I would expect Cub's grind to go quite smooth, and here comes Mega Nuke. We've got only 1 reflection coming off of it, and it is vicious.
Yeah. Very high magic spot here, so it's going to do Cold Knights. Kind of unfortunate that we did not get all the XP we need here. They only went to Rosa and Palin, but
and there's the pink tail.
Pink tail, so that is the 5th objective. So we know that. So as long, I guess if Boney does Dwarf Castle next, we might. Things are interesting.
Depends on what's behind the rat tail, too. If that's the pass back there.
Oh, no. Oh, we are about to see a whole bunch of wolves, because Boney has ran out of...
Doesn't have any life potions.
Life potions, yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so... Yeah, this... So we have to... Despite the fact that we got exits, we have exit castle yet, we are going to be warping a fair bit, unfortunately.
Where was the Sand Ruby? That was...
Top of tower
Dwarf...
behind the old Gauntlet.
Yeah, behind the top of tower, yeah.
And the Legend Sword was behind Dwarf Castle, which was Dark Imps into Mega Sisters, so... relatively easy, another relatively easy fight. And, well, what's the last bit that... Oh, so package was behind. We kind of an awful chain of sealed cave into barren basements to get the pan, and then Sheila 2 giving the package.
Yeah. There's also the adamant still out there.
No, we have the adamant. We got
I know.
From,
I just can't remember. No, for Boney. I can't remember where it was. Yeah.
It was that Boney has the adamant. It was from Ordeals.
Ordeals. Okay, yeah, that's right.
You might be confused with Magma Key, because Magma Key was behind the Super Cannon room.
Yeah, Magma Key was Super Cannon, yeah. I remember that. Anyway, I have to duck out because there's a small child that's going to be getting off a big yellow bus. But thank you for having me. Infin, I'm going to turn this over to you. Alchemy, always a pleasure to have you restreaming. And Noob Tree, wonderful tracking. Thank you both very much. And Infin, a joy to be commentating with you. Enjoy the rest of the seed, everyone, and we will see you next time.
All right. Okay, so all right. So with that, we see that Cubs has finished his Mac Giant grind. Is just going to go to the Murasame altar and then probably finish off the seed. Whereas Boney has gone back, probably going to actually look at what this Rat Tail Tournament is. We know it's not going to be anything except. I think the only useful thing that would be for Boney would be the pass, because that means he does. It's unlikely he goes back to the moon at this point. But it's rather interesting, and it was the pass. Okay, so that is a bit of a time save for Boney, because now with this pink tail, being what do we get? Arty arrows, so kind of a miss, but at least that is objective number 3 for Boney. We are essentially all 5 objectives each. For we need 1 more, and we know where everything we need is. But yes, I think for Boney to have a shot this, he needs to go straight to Dwarf right now, and it looks like okay, so looks like he is going straight to Seal Cave, which we know is going to be a very long sequence that gets to the package. So again, unfortunate, but you know that Boney had essentially had 5 options, and well, he did guess correctly. It isn't in one sense it is the slower of the options that was go mode. But Cubs is going to be able to do this because quickly. We have a level 57 Rydia. To be able to give her a tiara, a mute dagger, I guess the wizard robe, I guess, and go from there. And yeah, I guess Jack does bring a good point that there's a chance that if Boney sees that is the Baron Key, he might reset. But the awkward thing about that choice is that it opens up 2 other checks, so that does make things a bit more awkward in that sense. So given that Cubs does not need XP, we just go cast Stone. That worked because Palm has levels, and yeah, Cubs is about to get it, or I guess a ribbon first of all, but is about to get finish objective number 5 and hence get the crystal. So I am expect him to start making his way down to the bottom of the lunar core, and then fights Zemus. And Boney sees that it's a really rude bargain and has opted to say no thank you, and is going to the tower, which again we know does have a solution to this problem. It is going to give him the Sand Ruby, but at least it's probably quicker than the Baron Key chain. So there is that. So with all right. So with both our runners, actually no, one runner going to do checks that we haven't we've already seen, and Boney going up, Cubs going on his way to Zeros. I guess now's the time for me to remind you all that I guess that in about an hour and a half's time we'll have another race right here on the free on the Free Enterprise channel. That's FBL versus John Burkett. That is game 1 of their best of 3. And 2.5 hours of that, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, we'll have game 2 of Judge Joe versus IKEA. So those are some other more fun matches coming up for you on this channel. So Boney C is going to manage to skip the get during the Super Can room, because he is He's going to get his sanity right here. That is which does help a fair bit at least in terms of time. But Cubs is about to make the long walk to Zemus. He is meant to save. And we are just walking. Managed to set the battle speed to 3, so we are about to walk. Get that walk. Now, normally in this position, this is where I'd go hand it to my partner to go through the spiel, because I am not up with those memes about all these things about to come up. I guess another check on what's going on here. Yep. But I believe this is where we flat our flags to go to bed, because I guess from my perspective is past 11 p.m., which that's not normal for me. If I was actually at home, it'd be 5 in the morning. I'd be getting up, but no, that's another. But I guess here in the free enterprise community, we have a tradition when we go to instead of fighting the vanilla Zemus, right? That's kind of dull. Seeing the same thing over and over again. So we give the Zemus a bit of a makeover, and then we ask ourselves the question: whose butt do we kick tonight? I don't know if there's any other memes that go and think of. I mean, there's hat, instrument, or something like that. But yeah, back to Crystal. I'm going to guess it's going to be, I don't know, a potato mess, just to get my shot in here. Because my dinner hat was full of potatoes and nothing else. But yeah, this should be a pretty straightforward reflect kill for Cubs. We have 2 nukes and a whites. So yeah, I guess we're waiting for a whole bunch of shakes just to make sure that Sid turn is next. Makes sense. Sid is going to be very, very slow. Ooh, Rydia next? Oh, that's a bit awkward. That might throw things a fair bit. Yep, but we are revealing the Zemus sprite, and survey says in angelness. You know, I'm just going to assume this is Crystal Core for whatever reason. I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know where this is from. Oh, Nilla Angel from Devil May Cry. Oh, that's really good then. Okay, that's amazing. All right, so we're getting nukes. Like the counter. Oh, we got the counter nuke actually reflected. That's pretty good. That's pretty lucky at least. But yeah, this. Okay, so Boneyc did get. Oh, okay. But okay, I see what's happening now. Boneyc, having gone go mode, is actually going to open some trapdoors to get the levels needed to actually get through Zemus, because I guess he is actually a bit short after all. And with 10 key items, we can hopefully buffer the wall and have the disruptor reflect and kill the trapdoor, which is fun. Anyway, back to Cubs. Cubs is continues reflecting spells. I have not been keeping track, but oh, it does look like it's building a spaceship, huh? Neat. Yeah, this Cub looks this looks great. So that was the first Big Bang. So I guess to hopefully supplement damage, we're actually having Kane use the White Spear to reflect spells even more, because we need to. If Cubs is short, that hasn't been counting damage. That makes sense. If you're, because the last thing you want to do in this spot would be to actually have Kane take a swing and then actually tip Nilo Angelo to get to fight to the next phase, which you don't want. You just want to keep him in this phase so you don't have to do that much damage. Meanwhile, that's a pretty good door grind that's going on, but Boney's side, I guess, with the home rope that is through. But yeah, we are done on Cubs' side. We have we have our winner of this bracket. He advances to the next round and will into this next round and fight Curious. With a time of 1 hour 56 minutes and 41 seconds. GG's to him. This was a rough one. So I guess we're going to see if he is up for an interview. Um, I would blame him for not wanting one, if only because that was awful. Well, given how things went for him, this was a really awkward one. But I guess scoreboard defense in this case. And we are joined by Cubsrule21. GG's and congrats on finishing the seed.
Yes, finishing is the operative word. What
Yeah.
in the actual hell was that?
Yeah, there was some awkward things that happened there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the Dark Knight's Cecil fight at the King Queen spot. Yeah, that was really rough. Like getting that timing to go was awful. The fact that
I'm pretty sure all those Cure 3s were left over from the treasury right at the start. And there just happened to be enough.
Oh yeah, I forgot there were Q freezes in the treasury. Yeah, that was actually really clutch then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was kind of unfortunate. Yeah, but yeah, that was kind of unfortunate you missed out on the heron robe that was on Hobbs.
Oh,
Because
the one
there was
time
one
I
of the
don't
first
check the
chests.
single chest. Of
Yeah, the
course.
single chest. Yeah, that I think that you because I think if you check that, that might have made a whole lot of difference on how things have gone there instead of getting that heron robe late in Baron.
I think I still fade Feymarch. Because as soon as I saw that Mom Bomb, that was a post-grind fight. I was, unless forced to, I was not taking that before a grind. But it sure would have been nice to have the Heron Robe to go along with the White Spears.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I mean, I think from your perspective, the fact that you didn't have the hero robe, that meant that that Mom Bomb was never happening. Because it needed too much to get to make that work. Like you need to be able to get blinks up on Pal, and you need to find a way to get a berserk off so that you can plug the Q. And yeah, there are a lot of things you have to try to piece together.
Yeah. But it still went wrong the first time. I was not expecting Paladin to take 800 off of the explode.
That's fair. I also did not expect that as well. So you know,
much friendlier targeting the second time around.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have taken the Sid when I did. I
probably should have that.
Well, I was setting up for the D Machine or Mac Giant, and I never found a Thunderclaw, so I wasn't going to keep Edge.
Okay.
I knew I was going back for Iridia. I probably should have kept the Edge through Mom Bomb just for a little extra damage, and then picked up Sid when I picked up Iridia.
Was it I guess in that case, was there any thought to actually just purely relying on jumping cane to do the damage and just go with Horum, Rydia, Hallam, Rosa?
No, because I did not know what was going to be up at Murrah. And at that point, I think I was still looking at doing Giant. Ogo, Val, and CPU were all out of the way, but still, I mean, there's still plenty of wrong that can happen between the Giant and Moon.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Actually, I did have a question I want to ask you about. Actually, which was speaking of characters, when you went down the hook route, you see you because you have 4 characters. You actually intentionally save where you drop the hovercraft because you just in case, and you see Edward there in Cave Eblan. What's your thoughts on actually? What went through your heart? I guess the question I have is, what prompted you to actually take him?
I had spoon.
So if you didn't have the spoon, there was a reset.
Probably, although there was something I bought in shops that I actually didn't want to reset out for.
Oh,
I think there was a couple of headbands that I wanted to keep.
Oh, bandanas. There were bandanas for sale.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I probably would have walked out regardless with that.
Okay.
If anything, Eddie there is just another body for something to take a hit if needed.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But yeah, I think the story sees he just chose wrongly and basically essentially last location that darkness crystal, which is fair because
Yeah.
which happens sometimes.
And that was exactly what happened in yesterday's seed. Boney last locationed it, and I got lucky. This time, last locationing meant I guess I dodged everything on the moon and just found literally everything on Earth.
Yeah, like that moon was absolutely awful. The best that you could have hoped for was the fact that I'm not sure if you're paying attention to the spoiler, but the rat tail there was pink tails in the master altar that had Bahamut.
Nice.
Rat tail was in the ribbon room guarded by Leviathan. That led to the pass, and there was a whole bunch of junk.
Yeah.
I mean, the Zeus Gauntlet would be nice if you're going Zerkers, but no, that's about it, really.
Yeah, I got a nice little surprise at the end of the Mac Giant when I had to. It took one extra because thanks Sid for the low roll, but other than that, that and DKC, I think the seed went as well as it could. It was just a really, really awful seed.
Yeah, I think you just had to. Yeah, like I think you might want to watch through how Boney handled that mum bomb because obviously he did that before even doing Dwarf and also before doing lower Babel completely. So but it was slow, but it ended up being a giant bait because, well, obviously there were 3 objectives based on Blue Planet still. So, but yeah, you're right. This was an awkward scene, but
Very.
But you got the W. You get to fight Curious next. How are you feeling about that?
We just can't stay away from each other. It seems like. This is the ZZ5 rematch I've been waiting for, so very much looking forward to it.
I mean, isn't he also your 2v2 partner, ostensibly?
He is, yes.
So,
there's the added, we know exactly what each other wants to do and doesn't want to do.
Oh, that's great, because then you get to the fun line games as well. So that's gonna be an awesome. That's gonna be an awesome series.
Yeah, this is absolutely going to be decided by what the wheel throws at us this week. And it can go several different ways, and I'm absolutely here for it.
Alright, do you have any, I guess, do you have any preferences for what modifications you want against Cubs, against Curious? If they come up?
I'm really okay with anything but the one I'm absolutely targeting is the be unsafe. That really anything else I can live with. I do not want that be unsafe. I will say that right now.
What do you mean? Don't you just want to have back attack Valvalis with no Kane, no Edge, no
I mean, you see
Rosa?
just how bad not having it on can be with that DKC.
That's true. Yes, that would have been bad. Yes, you're not wrong.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a good race or a good matchup. I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good one. Any final thoughts on this before that you go?
My blood pressure needs to come down from the rest of that race. I would very much appreciate that. Alchemy, your reputation continues. Congratulations. Just a big thank you to you and Phineas and to Mike. I know Mike had to step away. And Noob doing the tracking today. Appreciate you all. That was something. I'm still not sure what.
Hey, you got the W. That's all that matters. You're through.
Yeah.
You get to now relax, have a drink or two, and relax on it. You've got the whole, and the best
Whole
bit
week,
is,
yeah.
and well, not just the whole rest of the week, but you also even for today, you don't have to try to fall asleep after this. You've got a good evening to go. I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to sleep after that. Oh.
Yeah, time zones made this matchup a little bit tricky to schedule, but fortunately we were able to get it in there.
I mean, if I was at home, I would be doing comms because it'll be at 3 a.m. So
Yeah.
I know enough about time zones as it is, but yeah.
Yes, not future man for once.
Less future. I'm still in the future, just less future.
I think Boney's getting close to finishing up, so I will drop out, let him come on in. Again, thank you very much, everyone. Just glad to pull that one off and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, and GG's once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was your winner of this race, Cubsrule, who now progresses to go against Curious in the round of 16. Meanwhile, we have Boney is in a bit of a spot of bother. We are trying to see if we can get reflect damage through, but we might need to be able to cast a Cure Fort at some point. We are jumping with Kane. I guess Rose is out of MP. And this Edge is swinging. Yeah, we need this Cure Fort to land and to heal up a whole bunch of numbers, which might be a problem if Edge has the wall on. And 18. Well, I guess that's enough. That might just be enough. And hope this. Okay, with that nuke go enough. That's gonna be helpful. That's gonna help a lot. I think if Alright, so we get the Big Bang. Hopefully this doesn't completely destroy our Bernie's party. Okay, so the important thing is that we have the rest of the party alive. Might need to wait for the black hole. Yep, there's the black hole. Might want to consider, so I guess once the Cure Fog lands, that should okay, it's going to top up Helen and Rosa because Kane jumped, but that's okay. We're going to need to have someone use a Star Veil at some point, or we might actually be at Rock Space, and we're at Rocks. So, and everyone dodged. So that's good. So, but come on, direct casting nuke. Come on. Oh, okay. All right, we're direct casting nuke. Let's go. And if this doesn't do it, then we should hopefully get the kill with a jump from Kane. But no, it looks like we are done. That is time for Boney C. With a time, he comes with a time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 34 seconds. GG. GG's to him. So we'll see in a moment whether Boney is up for an interview. This was again, as we discovered, this was a really rough one. So yeah, but we are joined by Boney. GG's and congratulations on finishing this scene.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, what a scene it was. I wanted to finish it out, so I was like, let's just do it.
I mean, that's fair. So I think the story of this scene ends up being the fact that you managed to get through that mom bomb as early as you did kind of end up backfiring because they're free. Three of the main objectives you didn't have were on the blue planet. So unfortunate, but that's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday I went on the route of check things before the objective to make, like so close to go mode. This time around, I was like, let's just do objectives. Any other checks, keep them away. We're just gonna go for it. But yeah, unfortunately, Moon kind of. Well, I mean, Moon was okay-ish in the end, but it felt like every check was a whammy, which was a shame.
Yeah, and that sometimes that happens. But I think the way you approached that Mum Bomb fight, no, okay, he did it on the second try, but I think you should be proud of how you fought through that and worked out how to solve that problem with what the resources you had. I think you should be very happy with that.
Yeah, I knew with the first one, because it's not the first time I fought a Mom Bomb on that spot with like a similar party, and on the first try, the moment I did bluff and I saw the exploding animation, I was like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stayed as is, wait for the bombs and just quake. Like I knew at the moment I pressed bluff, which is unfortunate because it is a long fight, right? It is quite the investment to go for it at that point.
Yeah, again, can't. Yeah, right. It did, but at least you learn from these things. No, I feel like if you ever run a seed where you don't learn anything, you've missed something, because there's always something to learn. I feel like.
Definitely.
Oh yes, you have to talk me through what your thoughts about seeing HP run out on that fighting plague.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. I was like, wait, HP ran out. Wait, none of my characters are. Oh, it just didn't even strike me that he was poisoned. I'm like, oh, I guess I did. Yeah, totally. What?
So, great side effect of virus is that it applies the sap status to whoever gets hit by it. It doesn't matter whether they have the boss bit or not. So yeah, always great to see that.
Definitely. It's like, oh yeah, you cast virus because it's fast and it deals damage. You never think about, well, what if it deals poison damage?
Well, the other thing in that spot is that you can't quake plague either because plague flies.
Yep.
So quaking really wasn't the answer. It was definitely not the answer there.
No, I just had to go with the green bubbles. And I mean, there was a lot of juggling happening, right? With because one of the things that really hurt me, I felt this seed, was just never finding any life potions for Syl where I checked. At least I'm sure there were somewhere, but
probably
I think I just ran out. Yeah, because it was after that Mom Bomb, I was out of life potions, and that kind of made things very hard. Because I think it was right after that, because I got darkness. And I was like, well, I could go for a grind, but can I? I don't have any life potions. How am I supposed to go for this grind? So I just decided, let's just do giant. Let's just go for it. I'm already sending it. Let's just keep sending it.
Yeah, okay. I did wonder about that. Why
it was on my mind.
Yeah, that's fair. That tracks. That's But hey, and you got paid off with seeing King Queen Eblan in at the element spot, so that was good. Less good about seeing Kanato there in the second spot, but hey,
well, 1 out of 2. I'll take it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the one thing I'll probably mention is that Berserk is a great spell for clogging the queue. I think if you were to watch this back, I think you'll probably realize that if you had cast Berserker a few spots, you probably will save a bunch of time. But that's like I said, as I said, if you don't learn something from a seed, you're not you're not paying attention essentially.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's usually afterwards like, oh, now that's a good idea. Or sometimes I don't, and it's where I like the spoiler logs or rewatching the VOD, stuff like that, right? I think that's always a good thing too, because when you're in a moment, you're very much in there, and you're just focused, especially in a race like this where obviously you don't know what your opponent is doing, so you will have to, just make your own choices, and you won't really know if all of the choices were right afterwards, because sometimes the choices were right. It just happened to be that the rando did what the rando did.
Anyway, so again, no commiserations for for. But again, at least you finished the seed out. I think there are definitely things that you did there which you should be very very proud of. I think you can take heart in what you managed to achieve here. Actually, even making some brackets. So
Oh, definitely.
especially
Yeah. I mean, for me, that was my goal in the end, right? Just hit brackets for once. I think because I think it was CZ1 or CZ2. I ended up in brackets, but I was, I believe, 64, which I lost first round.
okay, yeah,
And then with Adamant Cup, I was close to brackets, but I had to drop out. So every time it was like, yeah, I'm kind of there, but not really. Yeah, but not really. But now I felt like with a good Swiss, I was like, yeah, I'm happy I made it. I'm happy I'm here. Um, Goal achieved. Obviously, would have loved to go faster or further, but I mean, it was fun playing against Cubs, and I wish him all the best.
yeah. That like it was definitely a fun seed to talk about because there are so many interesting choices and so many troll things that happen. So it's especially that treasury having what 2 white spears, 3 cure
Oh
potions,
yeah,
and like all the crystal armors that
and
you could ever
no
want.
melee characters. It
Yeah,
felt so bad. I was like, oh, Earth. Surely I will get no nothing. Sorry.
yeah. Hey, those white spears did come to use eventually.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
But yeah, do you have any other thoughts about this seed?
Ogo shouldn't have been there. I'm not very happy about that. No, other than that, I think it was a very challenging seed. I think anyone who, is perhaps looking to, get something out of this flag set, I think this honestly is a great practice seed because of, the ways you can approach it, the variety, obviously hook route just being a thing, and all of that. But yeah, just forces you to be creative, and I I think all in all, despite the curveballs that it liked to throw, um, it was a good seed. It was a good
Yeah.
seed.
Also, props for actually doing a door grind. I did like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do love me a door grind.
Yeah, that was also very well done. I did like that too. But yeah, again, GG's once again. And if you have anything else to say, that's your time.
No, I think it's time for bed. I mean, it's I live in EU days, so almost midnight. So time for bed. But no, thank you all for obviously commentating, restreaming everything, and organizing the tournament. And I'm looking forward to watching the conclusion from the sidelines.
No worries. And yeah, have no you have a good night there and enjoy your rest.
Thank you. Likewise.
And that was our second place finisher, Bernie. But yeah, that is it for what we have for this race. But however, we do have a race in roughly 1 hour where we have FBL going against John Burkhead. That is game 1 of their best of 3, and then at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, we have Judge Joe versus IKEA in their game 2, and that's going to be a fun because I believe they've opted to lose their sirens in that. So if you enjoy creativity in doing things without a grind, that is definitely the race for you. But if not, but with that, for myself, for Nutri, for Alchemy, you all have a good time zone wherever you are, and hope and stay safe out there.